So if you're watching this video, you're probably aware that our business, Kegland, that's this one here, we make a lot of beer brewing keg dispensing hardware, and we also do a lot of our own injection molding. So we do a lot of injection molded plastic products and stuff like that in particular, mainly for the beverage industry and food industry. However, with that said, I've got a bit of a hobby in hydroponics, and also we've got another engineer here, Dom, who's also a very keen hydroponic gardener as well. And I suppose because we've got an interest in this area and have sort of got our own hydroponic systems, been working in it for a while, it's something that we wanted to expand out and also grow the range. Now, there is a sort of a YouTube presenter called Hoocho. I'll just sort of show you his channel here. So it's... So he has a hydroponic channel you can find on YouTube, and we've been working quite closely with Hoocho because Hoocho actually came up with some really great ideas for optimizing the hydroponic growing process. And he's got a couple systems which essentially called rainwater grow systems. So if you go to his channel and look at rain gutter like that, there's a couple systems that come up there like this, where essentially he's using a rain gutter. And what he's doing is basically placing pots on this rain gutter, and then essentially a liquid level is maintained inside the rain gutter using a float, sort of like this. As you can see, there's a float in there. So this will maintain this rain gutter with sort of around about a 30 mil liquid level in there. So the rain gutter has to be placed on the ground fairly level, or placed on some type of support fairly level, so the water level is consistent all the way through. And this type of system really is very efficient because it's completely passive, doesn't require any power. Basically, as long as you've got the header tank where the hydroponic nutrients getting fed into this channel, then no electricity is required. So it's kind of nice. It's all just activated by a float. And it's very, very efficient to build, so it's very, very low cost, and it works quite well. The wicking system is well proven and well documented as being a very efficient system in hydroponics already. So typically what you'd do is fill the hydroponic pots with some type of cocoa. Here's another video he's done, basically filling it with cocoa and perlite type mix, and then it wicks up. This particular video, he's actually just using another little wick that he's 3D printed here. So basically the idea, so this is a 3D printed wicking system he's got. It's like a spike which spikes into the bottom of the pot, and the rope essentially wicks up. So basically the idea of this type of wicking system, it's not new, so we definitely didn't invent that. And there's also a lot of other systems which are really great for hydroponics, like Bato buckets and stuff like that, and we're sort of morphing the two together. Bato buckets are fantastic, but they're not really ideally suited to things like strawberries, basically because of the size. So most of these common Bato buckets you see here, this container here is around about 10 litres, so it's generally a bit too big for strawberries. And the other thing is you end up with a stagnant bit of water down the bottom here, which is really not ideal. So you can tolerate it, I guess, but we wanted to make something that's more optimized essentially for things like strawberries or leafy greens and smaller plants which grow quicker, or stuff that grows quicker and you turn over quicker, like lettuce and stuff like that, or stuff which just has a smaller root ball and would be better suited to a smaller container size. So what we've sort of come up with Hoocho is basically this design here. So you'll see basically we've got this bucket shape here. So this is a 4 litre bucket all the way to the brim. So fill it right to the top here, it's 4 litres. Typically for strawberries, a 2 litre container, this is pretty well documented. The 2 litre container is pretty good for a standard root ball, but typically you also won't fill this right to the brim either, so you might fill it like halfway up, or 75% of the way up. The other thing is, if you really could squeeze 2 plants in here, that would be another possibility. If you want to fill it all the way to the top, you put one in each corner as well, and that would be probably a good way to grow in this solution. So this is the bucket itself. As you can see, it's got a 50 ml hole in the bottom, so it will take and accept a 2-inch net cup. And if you look at the whole assembly, it looks like this. So this is what the assemblies look like with various different rain gutter systems. We've kind of designed the system so it can suit several different rainwater gutter downpipes. So these downpipes come in fairly common sizes in Australia. So on one side here, you can see this is the Australian 50 mil by 100 mil wide, rectangular PVC box section. And then we've also got the other common one, which is 100 by 75 here. So look, most likely you just use the cheaper one and use the 50 by 100. But you'll notice that we've sort of cleverly designed, or Dom's cleverly designed the legs here. So you can see these legs that actually clip onto the side of each box. So the legs can either go in this orientation, which lifts this bucket essentially higher off the tray and supports it off the tray, or you've got this type of opposite leg. So just by flipping it upside down, it clips onto the bucket in the opposite direction and suits these smaller trays. Also, if you look at this, it suits the American style trays as well. So these are the two common American down gutter pipes, so 3" by 2", and then we've got the other very common size here, which is the 4" by 3" as well. So it's a very flexible system, I guess, and we've made a couple attachments, or in the process of making some attachments that interface with this as well. So it's got some holes at the top here, so you can also put stuff in these 16mm holes, like accessories, for instance, covers, which will like pipe which bends in here. Then you can put covers over there to keep the rain off, or keep the birds off, bird covers and that type of stuff. Or you can use these to attach hoses to. So in this particular setup that I'm showing in the image here, this is more or less for a wicking system, right? So basically we've got this channel here full of water, as I was saying before, or half full of water, wicking up through this 2" net cup here. I might just sort of get rid of this. So as you can see, this net cup here just wicks up through this. So this would be full of your cocoa perlite mix, for instance, or some other wicking media. I'd wick up through here, then go into this bucket and evenly saturate this sort of this bucket here. So that's one way to use it, but you can also use this like a Bato bucket system and top feed as well. So this particular system is obviously wicking from the underside, but the other way to set this up is have a pipe going over the top of this whole system, if you can imagine like a big plumbing pipe or something like that over the top. With little drip feeders going into each bucket from the top. And then also, because of the way that this bottom edge is designed, so if you look at this lip here, if you look at this lip here, this lip or protrusion out of the base actually sticks down into the rainwater box section. So let's say, for instance, you can't actually the particular layout, it's very difficult to level the space off, and you need to basically have something which is on a slope for some reason. What you can do is actually top feed, and then that way you don't have to be concerned about this rainwater gutter being absolutely even. If you're going to top feed, you can also actually reduce the size of this too, so you can actually use a much smaller round pipe or something cheaper as well if you did want to do that. But the top feeding is an option, or bottom wicking is also another option. Obviously top feeding would require some type of reticulated pump or something like that to recirculate the product. We've tried to make it very shipping efficient as well, so when you manufacture the buckets, they fit neatly in a box. So you can see in here we can fit 14 nested together like that, so they all nest together pretty tightly. These round sections also space them so they don't jam together. That's sort of an issue with some of the other Bato buckets, I'll say. And also the legs stack efficiently and nest into each other like that. So look, the whole thing will be very, very efficient for us to injection mold and manufacture. But look, we're wondering if you guys want to partner with us in either piloting some of the samples. I mean, we're going to injection molded tooling right now. And it would be great to get some feedback to see if there's any changes to the designs, last minute changes you want us to make before we get this product out to market, because I think it'll be a really exciting thing. It'll make hydroponic growing of things like strawberries really, really efficient. So if we get some feedback from you guys, that would be absolutely awesome.